And I want to ask our two candidates for chair of the faculty to come forward, Mimi and Joy, keeping social distance. And I'm going to ask each of them to briefly explain how they envision the work and challenges for the faculty chair in coming years. Our two highly qualified candidates are Mimi Chapman, who I think will speak first, a professor in the School of Social Work, and use this microphone. And our second speaker will be Joy Renner, a professor in the Department of Radiological Science, School of Medicine. And I very much appreciate their willingness to be candidates for this position.
Thank you, Dr. Kramer. I appreciate that. A few weeks ago, Ben let me know that I would need to prepare remarks for this meeting. And at that time, there was a lot going on, and I thought, well, I'll think about that over spring break. And so I did put off thinking about it until spring break. And of course, as that arrived, the remarks that I was thinking about became completely inadequate to the current moment. So I thought that instead I would share with you a few thoughts about the national crisis and the university's role in it. To put it bluntly, universities have led the way. It was universities that realized the catastrophe that would take place with students, faculty, and staff flying around the globe and then returning to campuses. Universities responded with concrete and far-reaching choices based in fact and in science, bringing students home from studying abroad, pivoting to remote teaching in record speed, and problem-solving ways to be responsive to vulnerable students who had no good housing options or no way to return home. Those dramatic decisions and the compressed time frame woke up the country to the crisis. I have long believed that there is no part of the university that is more valuable than any of the other parts, and that universities are laboratories for how to live and work well when different people from different points of view and walks of life come together. The current crisis brings into sharp relief the interdependence of academic disciplines and the professions. The health sciences are, of course, in the spotlight right now. The arts, humanities, and social sciences are giving us historical, artistic, and literary perspective as we contemplate what it means to be social animals in the midst of social distancing. Law and government speak to the need for structures by which to make difficult decisions and ways in which government can and should lead in a crisis. Statisticians and public health professionals and academics help us to process the data being thrown at us and provide tools for contact tracing and quarantine procedures, just to name a few. And journalists committed to the truth are keeping us informed about changing circumstances and bringing critical analysis to the facts. My profession of social work is a boundary-spanning profession, a profession that brings people together to work to solve problems and to create and test social interventions. We believe in the ability of communities, those that are highly recognized and those that are, and perhaps more importantly, those that are highly marginalized, to find solutions that work for pressing problems. And in social work, there are foundational skills upon which every aspect of our work rests. It is those skills that I think will make me an effective chair of the faculty. Those skills are deep, careful, and empathic listening, tolerance and acknowledgement of strong emotions, careful observation and advocacy that gives voice to stories and points of view that have been overlooked or discounted. Indeed, in the roles I've played in faculty governance, those are the qualities I've sought to bring to the table. I've chaired both the Faculty Grievance and the Faculty Hearings Committee, two places in which very sensitive situations are considered. I believe I was successful in those roles because of the qualities I mentioned, but more importantly because of you, colleagues from schools and disciplines across the campus that brought your own points of view and ways of looking at the world to the table to consider high stakes, emotionally charged, challenging situations. I have served on the Faculty Executive Committee and currently on the Appointments, Promotions, and Tenure Committee. Each of these serve as microcosms of the larger university, places where many different perspectives come together to arrive at strong decisions. To be elected faculty chair would be an incredible honor for me. For anyone elected to such a role, there will be a learning curve, and I will surely not do everything perfectly. But I commit that I will listen deeply to different points of view, give voice to issues that are important to the faculty. I value transparency, integrity, compassion, and fact-based decision-making. I will bring those values to this work and will ask you to hold me accountable if I don't. Thank you for your consideration, and to each of you, I'd be happy to talk with you individually if you would like to talk further. Thank you.
Thank you, Mimi. And now, Joy, you must go to the back of the room. Joy.
Thank you. So I consider being nominated by my peers for chair of the faculty as one of the highest honors of my career. It's a position I never anticipated as a possible role for me here at UNC. So I thank the advisory committee and the faculty who nominated me for providing this opportunity to be on the ballot. It took me several weeks to consider this nomination carefully. It's exciting and energizing to consider a position that would open so many opportunities to guide our faculty into positions to enact change and to chart the future of this great university. But with that excitement also comes the reality of the time, effort, and intentional respect for all faculty from all disciplines and perspectives inherent in this position. I say intentional respect because to me that means you do not assume you have heard and understood someone until you have reflected upon what you perceive to be their needs, concerns, fears, ideas before taking action. This takes not just time to listen, but time to reflect upon what you heard, place the information in context, develop options and solutions, and seek feedback on those options and solutions. So while this would be an incredible opportunity, I recognize that I must be willing to accept the heightened demands on time and effort to make this happen. I've talked with several colleagues over the past months on both sides of campus. I felt fortunate when I realized that I have as many colleagues on main campus and other professional schools as I do in my own school. My colleagues felt my track record of service, knowledge of Pan University functions, and reputation among their colleagues would be assets in my success in this position. I was encouraged to continue in the election process and let the faculty decide if I'm the right next chair of the faculty. My leadership roles here at UNC have afforded me an opportunity to develop a wealth of faculty colleagues throughout the university. With each leadership position, I learned a great deal about communication, human needs, preparation, humility, character and strength, and systems. Outside of UNC, I've chaired and designed from the ground up several professional projects, from national curriculum practice standards to developing a new healthcare professional in medical imaging. I've been involved with federal lobbying for the last 10 years. I don't recommend that to anyone. In the last decade, I've negotiated contracts between health systems. Through my work with the Faculty Athletics Committee, that's where I learned much of my communication and listening skills and understanding of system design. Not just to solve issues, but to provide a framework to avoid future issues. In my role with SAC's reaccreditation reports and general education curriculum committees and working with other Pan University policies, I've learned that having a wide breadth of experience and perspectives makes each task and product richer, comprehensive, and more representative of our campus. Chairing the advisory committee taught me the value of direct communication between faculty and administration. With each experience, my goal was to leave the role in the organization in a better position than in which I found it, and to develop new leadership talent in the process to carry the organization forward far beyond my tenure. I'm sure every chair of the faculty has weathered difficulties, and steered the faculty through challenging times. For me, one of the current challenges is the rebuilding of community, rebuilding a structure for intellectual discourse and debate on matters that could hinder the promise and progress of the institution and issues that can detract from the success of our faculty. Topics such as equality and fairness, integrity and transparency, financial stability and growth are foremost in my mind. Addressing these broad topics gets to the heart of students, faculty, and staff feeling included, valued, and respected, having trust, again, in the guidance and policies from our administration, and meeting the financial needs of the institution, faculty, and staff with facilities and salaries, and explaining the process used to decide what is funded, how, when, and why. One goal I would have as chair of the faculty is to utilize fully the strong faculty governance structure that we have in place. The members of faculty council and the members of our elected and appointed committees provide the framework for giving voice to the faculty. And I want that voice heard not only on our campus, but with the Board of Trustees and with the Board of Governors. It is helping all the decision makers not just hear, but be able to listen to those faculty voices, those who have the lived experience and not hypothetical scenarios. So my job will be to build on the existing bridges with these groups and to make them stronger with more efficient communication links that lead to richer options and solutions before final decisions are made. So whether I'm successful in this election or not, I look forward to working with faculty and in any capacity where it is felt that I could be helpful. So good luck to all as we weather the future weeks and we see what comes next. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy, and thank you, Mimi. And normally there would be a burst of applause in this room because we have two outstanding candidates to serve. There it is. I hear it. We have two outstanding candidates who are standing for the position of chair of the faculty. So now we're going to move on to the next.